Hey everyone, Brew Gaming here, and today we're gonna go over Richtoff the Bolt, or as I like to call him, Ripped Off the Bolt. The reason is I got this champion when we had the 2x event, 2x on getting a champion, a legendary champion from a sacred shard. I had a 12% chance to get a legendary champion. I opened about 18 shards or 19 shards, and I got one single champion, and here he is. Richtoff the Bolt. So anyhow, we're gonna do this account guide, champion showcase with you guys. It's gonna be about Richtoff the Bolt. I put some good gear on him, a ton of accuracy. Let's just go over his stats really quickly. So 36,000 health, 4k attack, 4.1k, 188 speed, 106 critical rate. Of course, you're gonna need 100%, not 106. So if you're gonna get close to the max, then that's great. 247% critical damage, 113 resistance, and 221 accuracy, just above 200, so he can be usable in the dungeons and of course for the clan boss. And just another bonus if I use him in the arena. In the case I use him in the arena, so overall his gear, I didn't put lifesteal gear on him or anything. I just put a cruel set and an offense set. I put the critical damage gloves on him, attack percentage chest, speed boots, and overall I tried to max out all the stats because this champion is an attack champion, so his skills are going to be based on his attack. So let's go over his skills. Ruination, yeah, attacks all enemies, decrease each target's max HP by 30% of the damage inflicted. This kind of skills, guys, right now in the game are not really useful. I can't really find a use for decreasing the target's max HP. Maybe it's useful for arena fights that go a bit longer, since when you decrease the max HP of a target, then in case he gets healed, he cannot get healed to the full. So let's say he had 100,000 health. Now his health will be about 70,000, depending on how much damage you do. There is a maximum, I think about 60%. I think is the maximum you can reduce a target to. So yeah, overall, I don't really find a use for decreasing max HP really to even chase gear that does this. So Bloodletting is his A2, and as you can see, it's fully maxed out because I use this champion in the clan boss, but we're gonna look at that a bit later. So Bloodletting attacks one enemy 3 times, 3 hitting attack. Each hit places a 5% poison debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. It's a 3-turn cooldown once you max it out, so fantastic. What I really like about this, guys, is like 3 poisons. It's a really good skill. Of course, for a legendary, I would like this to be maybe 4 hits instead, because there's epic champions that do the same thing and are much better. For example, Althar places 4 poisons instead. So I would like this to have been 4 poisons, at least maybe 5, since you've got a very similar skill on an epic champion. Then why have a weaker version on a legendary? So yeah, overall, anyhow, I just went with this. Attacks one enemy 3 times, each hit places 5% poison, the strong version of a poison, so he can definitely be used in the dungeons and of course the clan boss when you've got a champion that places poisons. Of course, he's not a top tier champion as a poisoner. Then we go over Curse Hold, his A3, and this is the reason I maxed him out, because I tried to do like a cool setup on the clan boss and showcase maybe his damage a little bit. So Curse Hold attacks one enemy, critical damage increased by 20% for each poison debuff on the target, stacks up to 100%. So this is the reason I really like this skill, because the more poisons you have up to a maximum, it's gonna increase his critical damage. So the more critical damage he has, of course, the more damage output he's gonna have, maybe in the clan boss, and of course also in areas like bosses in the dungeons and so on. So I really enjoyed using him when I maxed him out. I had the book, so I said, why not? I mean, I wanted to showcase this champion, so I maxed it out. I tried to get A2 and A3. This is why this is not fully maxed out. I wasn't trying to get them on A1. Of course, if I did max it out, then I would get maybe a bit more damage through his, auto attacks with his A1. So increased ally tag in faction crisps by 27% is his aura, which I don't really find useful except for maybe, the faction wars. Course, but really in faction wars it becomes so difficult at a certain point that you don't need attack percentage, you instead need more defensive or HP or speed auras that are much more beneficial to your whole team. So I don't find any real use for this, maybe unless you're just starting out in the faction crypts. So Masteries, guys, the page that we wanted to see. So The reason I have him set up with these masteries, oh, let me go. Yeah, so it's War Master. The reason I went for War Master is because of his A1. His A1 is a 1-hitting attack, and his A2 is a 3-hitting attack. I could have gone for Giant Slayer just because of that A2, but instead I went for War Master, more consistency in the damage, and I think since we don't have another way for him to just, you know, get more hits in, you know, his A3 is a 1-hitting attack again, then I just went for War Master. This is a very standard setup for the clan boss, so that's where I'm gonna be using him the most for this video. And of course I went the support tree, which is a very usual support support style, going for Master Hexer. Master Hexer, there's a 30% chance to extend the duration of any debuff cast by this champion by 1 turn, so it's a fantastic for a poisoner. 1 more turn for your poisons means a ton more damage each time this procs, so always good to have. And of course Evil Eye there for that extra bit of chance, for that extra bit of turn meter control, you know, in the dungeons if you're gonna use him. I could have gone for Cycle of Magic instead, but I went for Evil Eye because I will also be showcasing him in the dungeons, and Lore of Steel just to get that extra bit of stats from my overall gear. I didn't put any turn meter masteries like Arcane Celerity because his use for the clan boss really dependent on him having 188 speed. So this is his build, guys, his masteries and his skills. So let's go over first and check out what he does maybe in the campaign if you're interested in there first. So let's say you've got Brutal and you are interested in having a champion that can farm the campaign. Will Richtoff do the job? I do not think so, guys. Even though he has an A1 that does, you know, an AoE attack, let's go and see how much damage he actually does. So he starts out with the A2, it seems. So again, he does not use his A1. A3 did 70k, so that's a ton. 18,000 crit. Bloodletting, okay, that's his A2, right? There we go. His animations are so slow, it takes ages. Look at that. Fierce Hold is his A3. Bloodletting is his A2. I'm pretty certain on that. Yeah, so it took us about 33 seconds with that kind of gear. So it wasn't a thing about killing them fast, it was just killing them. I mean, even Kill or Aethel or Galek or Elhain with that kind of gear would just destroy 12-3 on Brutal. So next up, let's go over the dungeons and see where we can use him. Of course, the potion keeps would be, you know, good for a champion like this, but what's more important is, of course, the Ice Columns, Dragon, Fire Knight, and Spider. Fire Knight, I think it's gonna be difficult for him to actually be usable there just because of his A1 and his overall utility that he provides to the team. I don't see any other utility than just maybe hitting a bit the boss, but because of the shield, you're gonna really depend on all your other teammates to go far. So we're gonna go over probably just the Ice Columns, Dragons, and maybe the Spider. We can probably go quickly over in the Spider first and see what we can do. So I'm gonna remove one of the Royal Guards. Of course, this setup is totally endgame, so might not really showcase how strong he can be or how weak he is. So we'll see how much damage we can do with that A3. Once we have a few poisons up, we're gonna have Battle placing poisons and also, you know, that extra damage through his passive. So we're gonna see how much damage you're actually gonna do. So look at all those poisons, guys, on the Spiderlings, which is kind of cool. And we're gonna see now how much damage he's gonna do with his A3. Let's put this on 1x. He did his A1, I think. So it should be up next turn, maybe. Come on. Really want to see your damage. Put this. He did the A1 again. I think it's yeah, I think it's the AI because it finds so many targets. He's not using his A3 on he's not using his A3 on auto because of the amount of targets that are in the Spider. So probably gonna have A2 now available. No, okay, still fine. We're still gonna beat the boss. So I put it off auto, guys, just to show you maybe his A3 how much damage it does. Yeah, we still have it not on cooldown because he didn't use it. So let's see. 178,000, that's very low. I mean, there's so many champions that do way more damage than that. Even my army gear does way more damage than that, and I don't have him focused for damage like that. So yeah, in the spider, not really useful. He's not gonna bring the damage. The poisons are not really gonna help. So there's a ton of other champions usable there. So next up, it's gonna be probably the ice golems, where I do think the poisons are really gonna help. So guys, we're gonna go in the ice golems with this kind of setup. We're just gonna use our Stag Knight in there, Lysandra, and Arbiter there in case somebody dies. I don't think anybody will die, but we're gonna go in there with this team just to showcase how much damage poisons really do, you know, on bosses. So we're gonna have Bad and Richtoff to apply poisons on everyone. And that's good because Richtoff needs 5 poisons for his A3 to do maximum potential damage on an enemy. So that's all good. Look at all those poisons ticking away in terms of damage. Both Lysandra and Arbiter just giving speed boost to our whole team. So that's great. There we go. Great. So about 35 seconds to reach wave 2. A bit slow, but I don't think we're gonna have casualties here unless we allow the 2 dogs up at the front, the 2 annoying dogs, guys, to take a turn. Those 2 dogs apply reflect damage on all their allies, and it's very annoying because it basically kills your damage dealers. So you either have to be faster or have a way, look at that, have a way to, you know, remove those buffs. But see, here we died. The good thing is I came prepared. I came with Arbiter in there to provide a resurrect in case somebody died, and that was the case because Richtoff has no health or defense or anything, because I'm gonna be using him in an unkillable type team right after this. So look at that, slowly starting away with the attack down and defense down with Stag Knight. Then okay, okay, we're doing good. Already we see some health, some maximum health reduced there. Slowly doing a bit of damage there with that A3. The boss is gonna do the big AoE attack down, really helps. Look at all those poisons, guys, on the boss. On the 2 ads we only have 2. Okay, another 2 from Bad L. And we should be able to clear it in about 30 seconds or so. Want to see the A3, how much damage it's gonna do on the boss, because I wasn't really paying attention before. Bloodletting, no, not it. Was probably gonna die from all the poisons instead of yeah, that was an A1. That was an A1 again. But let's take this off auto. Hopefully we'll have time to see. The poisons are not gonna kill you, are you? Hope he doesn't die from poisons. Okay, let's do the A3 now. 213,000 and another 30,000 from you know, the War Master proc. I think that's good. Overall, not fantastic. I mean, there's a ton of champions that can do the same thing, you know, poisons on the target. But that extra bit of critical damage on a boss through his A3 nuke, it's cool. So let's go quickly and check his reviews. So yeah, his reviews are above 3, so average on everything except maybe Spider and the clan boss. Yeah, okay, I can agree in some ways that he should have an improvement. As I said before, his A2 should be a bit better since he's a legendary. So we are now in the clan boss. It's an ultra nightmare clan boss difficulty, guys. So we've got Richtoff there, we've got Alpha there for the poisons, of course Venus for adding a bit of more poisons, and of course that defense down and weaken, because we're gonna want to max out that A3 damage that Richtoff does. So his A3 is gonna do way more damage because of weaken and defense down. I could have used their Frozen Banshee for that poison sensitivity, but instead I went for Richtoff instead, since Althar is my tank. So let's go in and see what he does. So guys, if you don't know this setup already, I have a video guide on it. It's a 1 Maneater Painkeeper setup, so it's very easy to start out, but you need specific healths on everyone and speeds of course on everyone. So Richtoff is gonna be here with that specific speed of 188. He's gonna be placing his poisons and doing a ton of damage with his A3. And of course, Painkeeper is gonna help him out do way more damage since she will be resetting everyone's cooldowns by 1. So that A3, instead of 3 turns, it's gonna be 2 turns cooldown. So we're gonna have more turns to do our A3. So let's see how much damage we're gonna do. 189,000 crit, but I do believe this can go way higher the more we go through the fight. Okay, we got the stun here, but I think it should be okay by the next time we get the stun. Maybe I did not calculate the health correctly, but it will be fixed by the time we do our second or third turn. And we're gonna see how much damage we're gonna do in the end overall. But I do believe that this setup has potential to do maybe 28, 29, maybe 30 million damage. Of course, you need to reach that 35 million to do a 2 key. Okay, we got a stun on the second one as well. Usually this is what happens in all teams, and it fixes by the time we get to the third stun. If this does not work for the third stun, it means it's going to be a wipe. But since you guys are watching it, it's not going to be a wipe. We're not going to lose because I know what's going to happen right after this. So it's going to be turn 9 for that next stun right now, and it's going to be Arthur taking it. So okay, this is how it's going to go, guys, with the poisons being applied by everyone, and then just Richtoff doing his A3 constantly whenever he has it available. So let's see his next one. How much damage is it gonna do? It should do about 200k maybe. No, he did his A2 instead. Okay, let's see, when is it coming next? There we go, 194,000 crit. Overall, that's a very good crit, considering that it's going to be a very low cooldown with Painkeeper. That's reducing our cooldowns all the time. So I'm going to skip this video right before the end, and we're going to see how much damage we did, guys. So we're at turn 47 now, about 30 million damage, almost 30 million damage. Overall, a great run considering the champions that we're using here. We're not using a poison sensitivity champion. So our damage is just pure poisons and the War Masters and Giant Slayers that proc overall throughout every single champion. And of course, Richtoff is gonna be the MVP here with his A3 damage potential. So 31.3 million, guys. After the full run, of course, it went for 8 minutes. I'm playing on PC, so it's way faster. With Richtoff going 11.2 million damage. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. This Richtoff the Bolt showcase. I really enjoyed leveling up this champion because he was like a reminder of that 2x that failed, and I only got this champion, but he was cool for this showcase. This is what content creators do. We level up heroes that we might not be worth it, booking them out, pulling full masteries on them, ascension, everything. So yeah, all these are costly things to do in the game, but as long as you guys leave a like down below, comment, and of course subscribe if you haven't already, then it's all worth it to us. So thanks a lot, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.